guys, and welcome once again to Any Thoughts?
We have two different topics words that to talk to you about today. Roads and sleep.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Let's talk about that.
Alright, so first topic, roads. Where we're going, we don't need them. No, oh, wait, that's not.
No, we're not going
Okay,
there.
sorry. Back to the Future reference.
So, okay, we've come up with an idea for you. I want you to take states that we've gone to from the past
Yes.
and go on a scale from smooth as silk roads to beat your brains out bumpy roads. Now, can you give us a description from some of the states we visited?
Sure. So, to start with, okay, well, I grew up, I don't know. My childhood was spent in Missouri. And people are going to be like, oh, you're partial to Missouri, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's probably true. However, I will say this. The best roads I have ever driven on in the entire country are probably in Missouri. And Missouri roads are just like, I mean, they're like glass. They're just so smooth. I mean, there are a couple that I've driven on up in like St. Louis that are pretty bad, but they were in like kind of the areas of St. Louis, so I mean, there weren't really a whole lot of road crews probably wanting to work in that area. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyways, but like for the most part, for the majority of the roads, like the interstates and the main highways and stuff, Missouri, smooth as butter, or silk, or whatever you want to call it.
What about Texas?
Texas, pretty good. However, Texas roads are built as though somebody took some spaghetti and just went, like especially in Dallas and Houston, because it's like just like.
Yeah, they do have craziness with their roads, but imagine if they didn't have some of those systems built, though. Can you imagine how much traffic?
Well, like, when I'm playing Sim City or City Skylines even, I would never design a city like that.
No.
It's terrible. Like, I mean, okay, now granted, that's a game, so like the traffic sim in that game doesn't really real traffic, but I mean, if you built Dallas in one of those and then ran the traffic simulator, like, I feel like these traffic engineers, when they build that stuff, should have to, like, I don't know, like, play a game of City Skylines before they build this thing, because a lot of times it's just, I don't know, like Houston was probably the worst one that I've been to in Texas. Like, Houston's just like, I mean, there's roads that just go off into like random clouds. I mean, like, it's just, come on, man.
Well, if you want to talk about confusing road systems, Disney World. Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah.
I didn't think we were ever going to find our way back to the hotel.
Well, Disney actually had nice roads. However, as soon as you left Disney, Florida had like some of the worst roads ever.
And they had some of the weirdest drivers too. Like, their cars were literally taped together. So they were just going from point A to point B on tape and hopes and dreams. Well, that's the really junky cars. They did have a lot of really nice cars too. But, I mean, I guess every area has those.
Well, not here.
Yeah. Yeah, here they definitely have them.
Well, no, here, like, the roads here in Louisiana will just, like, beat you to death.
Yeah, that's true, but
Like,
they still have.
When they put the pavement together, it's like they purposely tilt it like this. So that way when you drive down, it's just like thunk, 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 thunk. And then at random points in the road, it's like they tried to patch it, but then they just decided to put a speed bump instead. So it's like you're like, I don't know if we're on a gravel road or if we're off-roading right now or what, but somebody should probably come along and pave this road because this is ridiculous.
Well, it's because of what they do. I don't know why, but they're patch jobs.
Well, yeah. I don't even know the last time they've redone the interstate. Like, that thing was probably put in back in the 70s or whatever. Well, 50. I don't know. Whenever it was put in. Dwight D. Eisenhower, he's the guy that did the interstate system. Mm-hmm. Probably in the 50s.
Yeah.
But anyways, when they put the thing, I don't think it's been redone since it was put in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it needs to be redone bad.
Yeah. It really does.
And
it needs to be redone.
Like, I get nervous when we drive over, like, those big bridges. So I'm like, man.
Oh, yeah.
This bridge is probably, like, 60 years old or so.
It's mostly whenever we're following, like, a heavy, like, truck that he gets really nervous.
Well, and then I'm in my truck.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, gosh,
which weighs, like, 6,700 pounds.
Okay, well, we've covered Missouri, Texas, Louisiana, Florida. Where else? Ohio?
Arkansas is not bad. There's parts. Like, I think the southern half is worse than the northern half.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. I don't know if that's has anything to do with, like, maybe the terrain. I don't know. Like, I gotta stop using, like, because I don't know if you guys watched our first video.
But there were likes everywhere from both of us, not just him.
But I was saying like all the time. So, anyways, I'm sorry. It's what I do, apparently.
Arkansas roads.
I don't know if it's just because Arkansas and Louisiana have, like, similar terrain and the, like, there it is, the, like, heat and stuff on the roads just, like, wears them down quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, like, to northern Louisiana, it's more like, or northern Arkansas, and it's more like Missouri. So, you know, harder ground, so when you build a road, it's like...
Yeah.
I mean, I think that has something to do with it, but still, you, like, these engineers, I mean, they go to school for this. You would think they would be able to figure out a way to build a road on ground where it's somewhat wet.
Well, I mean, some people probably have schools in certain states that have better road design, just like you would for any other school, like doctors or nurses or whatever.
Well, then they need to send them all to Missouri.
Well, another place that I thought that had pretty nice roads was actually Nebraska.
Yeah,
Nebraska had nice
Nebraska's
roads.
nice.
And they build them so fast.
No, Missouri's faster, though.
Well, when we went up there for a wedding, and the wedding was actually being held in South Dakota. So we would have to travel up to South Dakota every day during this, and they were literally paving a road. They were building a road and paving a road during the week we were up there.
Yeah, they almost got one whole, like...
It was crazy how fast they built that road. It was nuts.
That was crazy.
Because we went up to South Dakota, and then by that evening it was paved. It was crazy.
Yeah,
it wasn't lined, but it was paved.
When we drove up, like, in the morning, and we only went up there a couple times during the week. I mean, we weren't up there every
we didn't go
day,
up there every day.
But we would drive up, and it was on this one piece of highway that they were redoing, a little 2-lane highway. But I mean, still, and so like, drive up. They were tearing it up as we drove up, and several miles at a time. Like,
yeah, it was
and then
crazy.
Drive back, and it was
done.
Paved.
It's done.
So like they were literally redoing like 2 to 3 miles of road every day.
It was crazy.
I'm pretty sure Louisiana's rate is like 2 to 3 miles per millennium.
Per millennium.
Because.
Yeah. What's another place that you've been to?
Ohio.
Ohio's
roads, when you're not in the cities, are good. Like the country roads and stuff like that, and the interstates, those are pretty good. But like, in Cleveland, where I used to live, the roads were bad, but it was because of the massive amounts of salt they used when it would snow. I mean... Yeah,
I could see that.
And I don't know how anyone had a car up there that lasted longer than about 4 days.
Because of all the salt?
With all the salt.
Yeah.
I mean, it would rust a car like that, you know? Like, I mean, this is like, bought me a brand new, whatever, Ford pickup and drive it down the road and, rusted away.
I don't know. Would a pickup do it or like a car, like a Ford Focus or something?
Any of them. It didn't matter.
Huh.
But what was crazy was the way Louisiana is about like payday loan places on every corner, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Cleveland was the same way about car washes. There's like a car wash on every corner. So that you drive down the road and, once you got enough salt built up, you go through the car wash and wash it off there. So that's probably why a lot of people's cars didn't rust. But it was just crazy because, I mean, that's kind of what you did pretty much every weekend. You come home, wash your car or something.
So those are the worst.
Yeah, no, actually, Louisiana was really, really terrible. Or is really, really terrible. They haven't fixed it yet. One of the other ones that I've driven through that had it's probably it's got to be a tie between these two states for worst roads in America, but it'd be Louisiana and Oklahoma.
Oh yeah,
Oklahoma's
bad.
Man, I drove I-40 from Amarillo across Oklahoma. That will kill you. I mean, you'll be alive when you enter Oklahoma, and then they gotta call in the morgue. Because you're dead. Because literally, it has beat your brains out and you have died.
All right, so there you have it. The two worst, Oklahoma and Louisiana. Where is the best? Missouri, we know.
Yeah, Missouri. I mean, Missouri's really good.
Was Cali? How bad was Cali? Not too bad.
Parts of Cali. Alright, when I was out in California, it was certain areas were good, and certain areas, when I drove through Silicon Valley, or Silicon, I don't know. Silicon. It's Silicon, because silicone is what they use for these. Anyways, when you drive.
Did you really just do that on camera?
Yes, I did.
Sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry.
Quit! But so when I drove through there and because that's where you got Nvidia and Intel and all these because we wouldn't have this laptop right here. So those roads were amazing. And that was how it kind of was when we were there in Dallas the last time. The last time we went to Dallas, we drove through that little ritzy area over there.
Oh, that was nice.
And the interstate was
wow, it was fantastic.
I mean, it had a garden planted on the interstate.
And then, actually, was some on the underpass.
Yeah, every underpass.
It was crazy.
I've
never seen
with
that
a
before.
garden hanging over it.
It was awesome. I don't know where it was, but it was awesome.
I don't know what little area that was in Dallas, but
it was pretty. You
just
guys
do
did
the
a
rest of Dallas like
fantastic
that.
job with that one little area.
But so that's how certain parts of Cali were, and then other parts were like Oklahoma, where it was just like,
where it's just
especially
bad.
out in the Mojave or not
Mojave.
What am I saying? No, I don't know. The High Plains Desert that's out there by like Barstow, which is like nothing's out there really. I think it is Mojave.
It is
in the Mojave Desert, which is like a high desert. So it's not really what you would think of when you think of a desert, because it was actually kind of cold. And granted, I was driving through there.
at night.
Well, no, I was going through there in like December.
Oh, okay.
But no, I mean, it was like cold, like mountain cold.
Weird.
In the desert. Because it's a high desert, so it's like weird. But anyways, so like those roads were bad because the wind would just
blow you around.
Yeah, and the constant sand. It was like sandpaper just blowing over the road up constantly.
Mm.
So, I mean, there was roads out there that were pretty bad. So, yeah, I know. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's when you're dealing with roads, there's always one thing that you have to deal with: traffic.
I hate traffic.
Traffic is bad. We all know the worst time to be on the road, I don't care where you live, is 5 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 5 o'clock is terrible.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it doesn't matter if it's a Saturday, Sunday, or a weekday. Like,
I think it's worse on weekdays.
oh yeah, because everybody's leaving
Saturday's just bad all day.
Yeah, it's most of the time it's just bad.
Because everyone's like, I gotta go shopping. I don't even know what I'm shopping for. And then Sunday, people are just like, I don't know where I'm going at all. I'm just out driving. Driving on the ceiling, apparently. I don't know.
He doesn't know.
And you're like, get out of the way!
Yeah. One thing that we've noticed is a lot of times, it's especially bad when you're getting close to big cities.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dallas, Houston, and St. Louis, and let's see, where else?
Mm-hmm.
Orlando's traffic
Orlando
was pretty
was
bad.
Pretty terrible. Or people in Florida just don't know how to drive. That's the problem. I think about 35% of the people driving around in Florida probably don't even have a license, let alone have they ever gotten behind the wheel of a car, and they're just like, I'm going to try this out today.
Well, I mean, there's tons of different people that are around Orlando anyway, because what is there? People go to Disney all the time because they're recruited there.
Well, the other thing's there.
Oh, yeah.
What's the other one?
The Nickelodeon
Universal
thing.
Studios.
Yeah, Universal Studios. So and there's also a SeaWorld there. So there's like constant attractions everywhere. And so there's always people. And especially during the summer, like when we went.
Hey, when we went out there to NASA, I thought those roads were pretty nice.
Those were pretty nice.
That's
on the other side.
There was like no one on the road.
No.
Except for that one Mustang, which he thought he was like super fast in a V6 Mustang. Like, really?
I mean, when we went on this most recent Dallas trip, that's another problem. We actually ran into a huge backup because of an accident.
Oh, that was terrible.
Oh, it was miles and miles and miles before we
like two semi-trucks like hit each other.
Yeah, and they caught on fire.
And then their load like dumped all over the road.
So, by the way, I hope those guys are okay if they're watching. We hope you're okay. And everything came out all right.
But next time, crash off to the side.
No, be nice.
Oh.
Just be careful and just watch out.
Stop falling asleep at the wheel, man. All right?
Take your naps.
If you're tired, pull over.
Don't,
and when you pull over, don't crash into the other truck. And that was really loud.
That's for any driver. Just if you get tired, please pull over. Just do it, please. But anyway, accidents happen. That brings up traffic backups, and sometimes you can't even see how far down the road it is. Which brings me to my next subject: road rage. This guy has road rage.
I'm like the I'm like a teddy
right.
bear when I drive.
Right.
What?
And I'm a cat. Meow.
Sometimes I think so.
But yeah, road rage is really bad, and it can be from anybody. You can make anybody mad. Like, there was one time we were on the way to a wedding, and this guy thought we cut him off, and when we tried to get back in the other lane, he kept, like, just speeding up just to make sure we couldn't change lanes. And he did that for miles. You don't remember that? I don't remember. We were on the way to a friend's wedding, and the guy just kept cutting us off. And he
was that when we went to what's her?
Yeah,
way up there in the.
Yep, that was hers. And that guy just.
And we were on like a 2-lane road.
It was crazy because he just
wasn't that a 2-lane road?
It was a 2-lane road, and he just every time we'd get next to each other and Dan wanted to get over, the guy would just speed up enough that we couldn't get next to, and we knew he was doing it on purpose because the passenger in the seat was like waving at us like, yeah, you bunch of idiots.
Yeah, that guy was retarded.
Yeah, he was being ridiculous. I thought he was going to get us lost at one point because we almost missed our turn. But yeah, road rage is really, really bad. And it can cause you to do all kinds of stupid things.
That's why I don't drive around with a gun in my car. There'd be a lot of dead people.
Or tires being shot out, which would cause an accident. You shouldn't do that. Another thing that I wanted to talk about with roads is a device that a lot of people use now. Instead of maps, what do we use? A GPS.
The phone.
Yeah, the phone. Or you can actually buy a
No one buys an actual GPS anymore.
My parents have one.
That's because they don't know how to use their cell phone.
Anyway, doesn't matter. Sometimes...
Google Maps.
Sometimes your GPS will get you lost. I don't know if anybody's ever had that problem. I have. We had it on this last... I know we're talking about Dallas a lot, but it's our most recent trip.
This one wasn't that bad. It was the one... the one that was really bad was when we went to Houston for that. Remember we went to Houston and, like... By the time it gave you the direction, we had already passed the exit. That happened like 8 times. It did that in
Dallas too.
Yeah, not
to
as
get
much,
on the on ramp. Oh.
Not as
anyway,
much.
that's one thing. Number one thing bad about sometimes with GPSs, they're really, like he was saying, they're really, really slow to give you your next direction. You can pass it up, especially if you're driving by yourself. You don't have a passenger in the car to go, hey, it's that way. You'll pass it up. Second thing, it'll...
pull over and get a hotel. You're like, screw it, I'll figure it out in the morning.
Yeah. Second thing is sometimes they just get confused and then for some reason they reroute you for no reason.
Oh yeah, that's always fun.
Ugh.
And then it takes forever to reroute, and you're like still driving along.
You're like, where?
There's nowhere to pull over or turn around.
Where am I supposed to go? And then sometimes you would just have to find a place to pull over, and you just sit there for like 15 minutes.
Hey, I totally just realized I'm on like the right hand side. Well, I'm like in a British car right now.
British car.
This is awesome.
And it makes you fall asleep. Let's talk about our second topic, which is sleep. We're off the driving topic.
We're off the driving.
According to doctors and the CDC, which is the Center of Disease and Control, sit-up.
Sorry, we were talking about sleep. I was giving an example.
Okay. Here are the different ages for people and the hours. Newborns need 16 to 18 hours per day.
Learning.
Preschool age children needs 11 to 12 hours per day.
Holy cow.
Okay, school age children need 10 hours a day.
Oh
Teens need 9 to 10, and adults, including the elderly, need 7 to 8 hours per day.
Wow.
Yeah, that's diversity right there, isn't it?
I don't think I ever slept that much when I was in school, man.
How many hours do you sleep now, baby?
Like 6.
6 or 7?
Yeah.
7 at the most?
6 if it's a good night.
So you're
Sleeping
actually...
in is like 8 hours.
According to the CDC, 6 to 7 hours. 7 is okay, 6 no. 6 is too short. I'm actually in the school age to preschool age, so I sleep anywhere from 10 to 12 hours sometimes. Um, I'm still a child, apparently. Now we know what's wrong with me.
That's just one thing.
So that's my basic sleeping schedule. Now, I have two different things to talk about here. For weird sleeping, napping on the couch. Do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea? Because a lot of people say that it's really, don't sleep on the couch. It's bad for you, and it'll hurt your back. It'll hurt your neck. What do you think?
I don't know. I nap on the couch all the time. I think it's fine.
Okay.
I don't really have an issue with it.
I do, because I kind of agree with what they say. I think it's a bad idea because it'll act. Number one, when I sleep on the couch, I don't sleep well. I toss and turn. I constantly wake up, and I'm like, ow, this side hurts, and I have to roll over. Especially if you don't have a very good couch. Ugh.
Our couch isn't that bad.
I meant your old couch.
Oh,
your
that
old
thing.
couch was so
Yeah, you
uncomfortable.
would not want to sleep on that because
it was an old futon.
It was a futon with boards under it, so that way you didn't feel the little rail pieces. But yeah, so basically you were sleeping on a board with pillows on it. Yeah. That's essentially what it was. Yeah, then not a good thing.
No. But either way, even on this couch that we have now.
Okay, I want to ask you something.
Well. Okay.
When you nap, so if you nap in the bed, you go under the covers or above the covers?
I don't go under the covers. I get a blanket and pull a blanket over me.
Because the issue I always have, I find my body doing it naturally, I guess, is if I try to take a nap and I go under the covers, my body just says sleep, and so I just sleep, and I'm done.
All right, so now we're going to talk about the second subject that I had on this: sleeping in the car on a road trip. Bad idea or good idea?
For me, it's a bad idea.
Okay,
but that's because I get car sick.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
For me, it kind of depends on the situation because, you sleep in all kinds of weird, points whenever you sleep in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You wake up and you're like this, you're down like this, and you've leaned to the side, and, that just ruins your neck. Ugh. Especially if you don't have one of those pillows.
Yeah, you gotta have one of those.
You will destroy your neck. Another thing that I used to do as a kid that this is really dangerous is you still have the lap belt on,
hang out
but
Oh.
you put the other belt behind your head and you lay down in the middle. That's really dangerous. Don't ever do that. Yeah, lay down if you're in the back seat. Just put that and then lay down in the back of the car with the lap belt on.
Oh, when I was a kid, I would lay in the whole back seat with no seat belt.
See, that's even more dangerous.
Well, but when I was a kid, I would also sit in the floorboard. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but I would sit in the floorboard, faced the other way, in the front seat.
Ooh, no.
You know what I mean? And,
yeah.
And I would do stuff on the front seat, draw or whatever the heck I was doing on the front seat, and I was sitting in the floorboard.
Yeah.
But, granted, these cars were not. They weren't high-tech cars. They didn't have airbags that were going to hit me in the back of the head or anything. So.
Well, you can still fly through a window.
Well, but it's just
Anyway, that's car stuff. That's for another day. But anyway, so I mentioned the bad thing about it is you hurt your neck, you sleep in weird positions.
That's why you gotta have a good pillow.
Yeah. The good thing for me, as I saw, is my parents did this when we were kids. On a long road trip, one of them would drive for a long time, and then when they get tired, they would swap.
Yeah.
And the other person would do it the old school way. They would either use a map to help direct them, or newer, use a GPS when those first came out. And then if that didn't work, they just take a nap in the car, which I think is really great because whenever the person that's now driving says, oh, I'm really tired, I'm tired of stopping for coffee, you can swap out and it's just fine.
I wonder how many people in America now actually know how to use a map.
Probably not many.
Maybe we should talk about that next time.
Leave your comments about that down below, and if you want us to talk about that, we will. We have one more subject to talk about, and that'll be it for us for the day.
About the way things were.
The way things were.
Yeah, you used to use a map.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's for another day. What we want you guys to leave your comments about this. What is your perfect pillow? There are many different types of pillow. I'll just name 3. I use a memory foam pillow. What do you use?
I have 2 kind of, I don't know, worn out or thinned out or whatever.
They're more firm.
Yeah, they're firm
soft
pillows, but there are 2 of them stacked up, so you get the nice thick pillow. Because otherwise, they're really thin. And I don't like thin pillows. I like big, not fluffy, because fluffy is not the right thing. You gotta have enough
to lay your head.
Yeah.
The last one that I'm gonna mention is those those bean pillows that you see. Yeah, I don't really like those either. But some people do. So leave your comments down below on that, and thanks you guys for joining us today.
Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to subscribe and like us. We now also have a Facebook page, which if you go to the channel homepage, there's a link to the Facebook page.
Also, don't forget to check out our Sims playlist. Right now, he has his solo playlist up and running.
It's
with some videos right now, so you can go right ahead and go over there and check those out.
2 more added today.
Yeah.
Because I have filmed a really long one that I had to splice into 2. That way you guys don't have to watch the whole 50 minutes at one time. You can watch 25 and then 25. But also, we got a couples Sims playlist, which is empty right now, but we are going to be uploading our first one of those where we're together talking, because we got this brand new microphone right here, which you guys probably noticed the whole time, which hopefully the audio now is crystal clear, unlike the last video.
Yeah, sorry guys.
So that being said, we should have a new one uploaded on Saturday. And that should be pretty good, because normally we get kind of crazy playing that game.
Yeah.
So,
it's fun. So we'll see you guys next time.
And have a fantastic day.